Hey everybody, it's Andy aka Max Writer. We are back with another little mini review slash look at some of the things that I'm having published on DriveThruRPG. Today it's The Last Valley. This is the second one that I put up. It's a little shorter than the Panic and Requiem. And I went for color pictures on the inside. And if you've noticed this binder, this is where they're going to end up going. Once I'm done with these reviews, I'm going to hole punch them. Put them in this binder so that they're all together and so that I have them all together. So The Last Valley is actually set up for Down Darker Trails. It is a short scenario. It's got some hooks, but it's more of a sandbox than anything else. It's more dealing with the area than it deals with a story, and it's up to the keeper to find his own story. Now later on in the posse, I take one of the hooks and I fill it out, but that requires The Last Valley to really play it well. As you can see, this one deals with dinosaurs. Spoilers! We've got our cover page here. I added other Call of Cthulhu scenarios by Andy Miller. I can't remember if I had that in the Panic and Requiem or not. More quotes, Lovecraft, and my playtesters. Here is our table of contents. It's obviously considerably shorter. We've got a foreword. This time we're talking about certain dinosaur/cowboy movies, which there aren't a whole lot, and a few books and that kind of thing. The Last Valley, or Snakes on a Plane. So we go into the introduction, Keeper's introduction, player information. I added an adapting the scenario to this second one, so you don't have to play it in the 1870s. It doesn't have to be for Down Darker Trails. You could place this in the 1920s. You could potentially place this present age. It's just got some ideas for that. Then we go on to the locale of the scenario, which is Utah territory. I've got quite a bit of information here on Utah, some about its history. We discussed the three counties that are the closest to where this is going on, and then some of the towns in those counties. There's quite a few towns here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 counties, plus a few other locations that appear on the map that I used. Fort Robideau, Strawberry Valley, and the Uintah Indian Reservation. I mentioned the Utah Southern Railroad because I feel that it's important, as it runs right through all of these towns. I added some geography, just a little idea of what the geography is like in the area, as well as some idea of how long overland travel would take, and kind of what's going on in the summer of 1875, who's the president, what's been happening lately, just a very, very briefly. And considering it's in Utah, I figured I really need to talk about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So there's some history here of Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, where the Mormons came from, where they ended up living, and how they ended up getting into Utah. Then we actually get into the Last Valley itself as a scenario. Actually, I thought I had some. Oh, here we go. Back here in player information, you've got several hooks, reasons why people would be traveling. When I originally ran this, it was simply they were heading that direction. They were crossing Utah, and so boom, this thing was in their way. But there's some other ideas on what you might be able to do to get your player characters involved and that kind of thing. So we've got a couple of area locations are on the large map of Utah. You start seeing some weird stuff. Then, of course, you run into a dying native who you can try to save and take with. And then, of course, the dinosaurs attack, because that is inevitably what we're all dealing with here. Once you enter into the fog, there are more attacks. I've added some little sidebar historical notes about the dinosaurs, as they're not really supposed to be from the period that the game takes place as far as the connection through time. So there are some ideas on how to handle that. As you get further on, you find the reason why these dinosaurs are here, including the lone serpent person survivor, which my party actually saved, and she joined the group as an NPC, although not a very nice one. And then there, of course, there's the time gate. If your players wish to go through, there's a little bit of information on what's on the other side, as well as some idea of what's on this side. Now, even if you escape the valley, I found through playtesting that you can't just walk through the valley, see the stuff, and walk away. It's more interesting if something chases you. And so I had a Tyrannosaurus Rex chase my players, or the characters. And there's some ideas here for this long chase that could last several days, as well as a historical note on the Tyrannosaurus Rex and its actual where it belongs in the timeline. We've got the ending here with sanity, rewards, some ideas on what might happen next, and the afterward playtest notes actually go into some of the gameplay, which I had a couple pictures from that game, so I'm kind of happy that I took those. We've got base stats for your dinosaurs, which you can find the actual write-ups for these guys in Down Darker Trails. So check that out. It's an excellent game. A couple of NPCs. There's only 2 NPCs in this scenario. This is an actual 1875 map of Utah from the David Rumsey map collection, which I was given permission to use. So for your players, you've got a map that you can show them of Utah. And then for the keeper, there is a similar map that just has a couple of markings and where the last valley is. Once again, we've got some pictures to hand out to the player character or to the players, as well as pre-gens. These pictures can also be used if you want to make tents, that kind of thing. And then I have written up 6 pre-gens that very much resemble the original player characters. I think I had 5 players who went through this originally. But this was originally run as part of a regular campaign for Down Darker Trails. So these guys I made up. I rolled them up, and they quite closely resemble the characters that you can find the original investigators. Well, except for Bill Newberry, who's a prospector. He was totally made he was a backup character that wasn't in that game at all. There's Lucius Williams. Here's our back inside cover. We've got about the author, blah, 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 and then the back cover. And again, if you set your printer to print both sides of the PDF and you just turn it on, it's going to print it up just like this. And there you have it. There's the last valley. So, I will put a link in the description below if you want to purchase it. It is not terribly expensive on DriveThruRPG. It is a little shorter. And that's it. So, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. As always, I appreciate it. And I will talk to y'all next time.